en tout cas Facebook, YouTube. Merci beaucoup. Nous sommes vraiment dans la joie. C'est Coach Sandra et moi, nous sommes là pour vous encourager, mais on a commencé ce journey, ça fait plus de 8 ans, je pense, avec Coach Sandra. Elle est fondatrice de Speaker for a Change et puis aussi Bring Up Out of Hiding and Sandra Motivation. Donc, elle a beaucoup de chapeaux. Alors, elle est ensemble avec moi depuis, ça fait plus de 8 ans que nous sommes ensemble, une mère, une coach, un leader, que beaucoup vraiment, je suis vraiment impatiente de la présenter chez vous. So thank you guys for coming. This is Coach Sandra, founder of Speaker for a Change. She's have so many hats and I can't wait for you guys to hear about her story. She's into many adventures, but very passionate leader that I can say that I've met 8 years ago and we've been together until today. She's the founder of Speaker for Change. She's also a founder of Bringing Out of Hiding and a Warrior Fitness. So again, you want to get empowered and mentally, physically, she's the one. Thank you so much. She's been my co-host for this conference and we are very welcome, blessed to have Coach Margo and Coach Tisha and many more wonderful leaders who we started yesterday afternoon and then we're gonna continue this morning. Okay, thank you, Coach Sandra.
Thank you, thank you. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, world. Whenever you are watching from, good afternoon in Africa, good evening, and we have family all over. So I greet to you all this morning, straight from Virginia Beach, Virginia. It's 11 a.m. here. This is our day 2 out of the 6 days that we put together to celebrate women as a women, mother, sisters that we are to so many out there watching, how we are impacting their lives and how we are impacting the young generation is why we are here today, to spread the word, to spread the news and encourage more out there who can speak out, who cannot come out of what they are going through. So I welcome you all. Yesterday, we have amazing people, and Dr. Madeline said something yesterday and said, in this journey to become something or to empower someone out there, make sure you put yourself out there every single day. Update yourself to let the people know, the world know that you are still around, your business is there. And what's about your business? Put it out there so people can also support you. So that's why we are here today. I am the mother of 5 children, 2 girls and 3 boys, the founder of the Speaker for a Change, which empowers women. And we've been doing this. I started this journey since 2000 and let's say Speaker for a Change was founded since 2014, but was put in the system and accepted by the government in 2018. So we became nonprofits. And also I am the founder of the Bring Them Out of Hiding, which empowers men. Being the mother of 3 boys, I have to be able to protect my boys as well. So I founded that one, and also the Warrior Mindset Fitness. The reason I founded the Warrior Mindset Fitness is I was a girl who faced a lot, as any of you here. We all face something, but I never let other face put me down or was written all over my face. I say, the challenges are to be defeated. I have to face it and fight it. So how I use gym, fitness, lifting, and doing all to save myself. I face so many things, just name it. Disease came, cancer, diverticulitis, Bell's palsy, stroke. But I said to myself, I have to make it. Each time I was knocked down, I said to God, you have brought me so far. Ever since I was 15, I was fighting this battle. And today I'm living in the best country in the world. You cannot let me down because my voice will lead someone tomorrow. And I keep pushing and pushing. I have an amazing people. Janine was in my life since for 8 years now. Mrs. Adama from the same country. Her husband just met me on Facebook. Say, this sister is doing good thing. How can I help her? Being a man. And he just messaged me and said, I will be here anytime you want me. And his wife also said, we will be here to support you. They became family. I'm telling, I can call this man at 12 a.m. We're gonna talk, and whatever it is, we're gonna talk about it. And they've been guiding and helping till today. So thank you so much, my sister, to be connected this morning. And thank you all. And also for this, I can't wait to hear from all of you. Thank you all for joining. Back
Thank
to you,
you.
Janine.
Thank you so much, Coach
Thank
Sandra. So
you.
just like we were saying that we started yesterday with powerful speakers that they share their personal journey as leaders. And again, this morning we have the pleasure to welcome also Carrie, and she's going to have a time to introduce herself, but she's an amazing consultant. And to me, we have a lot of conversation with her around how that I found myself like so many of the things that I was doing, especially in a workplace, and my experience and her experience really are very similar because we've been also around teams and doing professional development around how to support also managers, because for many years I've been a manager and been in different position of leadership. So we definitely was just sharing and empowering each other. So, and that this is really a true partnership, her and I. And that's why when we were preparing this conference, she was in my mind. I was like, she was really some of the person that I would like her to come and share with you all her story. And also Coach Tisha, she's definitely, I mean, all these wonderful women, I tell in my heart, like, I've known them for many years because just by watching what they're doing, how committed they are, she has a show, she just shared with us like 3 days a week. This is, we're talking about commitment. And these women are very they're committed to serve and to empower women and men every single day. So I'm definitely glad to see also Coach Margo. We talked, I think the first time when we talked for a lot of stuff, but in a very short period, I was like, oh my gosh, we definitely, our vision really aligned, with one another. So it's really my pleasure to welcome Coach Tisha, Carrie, and Coach Margo on the floor. And many of you guys who join us today, merci beaucoup encore de se connecter à nous ce matin. Nous sommes avec de merveilleuses femmes exceptionnelles ce matin qui vont nous parler de leur parcours. Donc, merci beaucoup de se connecter sur YouTube, Facebook et aussi partout dans le monde, parce que nous sommes vraiment en train de parler de ces femmes exceptionnelles qui ont marqué le temps, mais aussi en train de faire beaucoup de choses dans nos communautés qui sont vraiment déterminées pour empower others. So, merci beaucoup pour d'être là et merci aussi Coach Sandra. On va commencer par qui? La personne qui va commencer.
Thank you, Coach Janine. And like we waiting, people will join us soon. So I'm gonna start with Mrs. Margo.
Okay.
All right. Okay, ready to go?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. First of all, I am so very glad to be here this morning with you ladies. It's 8 o'clock in the morning here in sunny Southern California, but hello, Globe. And I'm a podcaster. I am a podcaster, and I know that podcasting is a vehicle. How do I know? Because it has carried me from A to Z in a very short amount of time, my voice, and to reach other women, to empower them, to let them know that when you come out of corporate America, you don't have to just be someone's wife or someone's mother or someone's grandmother. You can step into and reinvent yourself and become a podcaster. You can become an entrepreneur. You can even write your own books. So that's my message to everyone. I believe that wherever we are on the globe, we have a story that someone is waiting to hear. My story was that I grew up in the Midwest, a very small town, but then an opportunity came to come to sunny Southern California, and I jumped on it. And I'll never forget the day my sister and I, we were blessed to be able to buy a house, and we were sitting at the table there sipping our coffee. She says, you know what, Margo, I think I'm going to go to this school in Hollywood. I want to learn how to podcast. I said, girl, I was looking at the same thing. Yeah, guess what? We're going to jump in the car. We're going to go. And if we don't like what we hear, we can go ahead and get back in our car. We don't have to spend any money. We can come on back home, but let's go and investigate. That was the best conversation. That was the best decision I ever made. I fell in love with it. I found my voice. I was introduced to terrestrial radio, but it was something about internet radio, the power of it. I felt, because I was kind of shy and wondered about my voice, but I always loved music. So I connected music with my podcast, and I was off and running. My job was a pressure cooker. You know, when you're in leadership and you have responsibilities,
yes,
it's hard. So
yes.
I never stopped podcasting. I always used that as my hobby, as my outlet. It was a way for me to empower the independent artist who was trying to get their voice, their craft, their business out there. So come on to my podcast and I'll get you out there and people will know who you are. But then something happened in corporate. After 26 years, I quit. Do I say everybody quit? No. But that was what I had to do to regain my voice, to regain my health, to regain my sanity and my physical health. So I bebopped around in Southern California for a year to get my feet back on the ground. And I always knew I had to get back to podcasting. That was the seat of my voice. And there were so many people I was able to help, but I knew this reinvention was not about letting the independent artists come on and get their artistry out there to the world. I knew that I had to build a platform for women, boomer women in particular, around the globe that was going to empower them to reinvent themselves, give themselves permission to say, okay, I'm going to become an author. I'm going to tell my story, or I'm going to talk about what I love. My passion is going to come up in this book. I am going to build my podcast because I'm so passionate and my energy is there. I have so much to give to others. I want to let other women know you can get your voice out there and be a podcaster. And my God, why not build your own business? Become an entrepreneur, because artificial intelligence is probably going to take a lot of our jobs anyway. So you get ahead of the curve and you reinvent and become an entrepreneur. Those three entities I put together under one umbrella, and it's her business, her voice, her conversation. I built that at age 61. I gave myself permission to present to the world, all nations, ladies, you can do this. I did it. You can do it also. And so last year I decided I'm going to teach podcasting. I'm not selling perfume by day and talking about podcasting by night. No, I'm a podcaster and I teach podcasting. That's what I do. That's the seat of my energy. It raises me up every day. I never get tired of reading about it. I never get tired of teaching it, and it's global. I don't know how many women there are in this world, but all of us have a voice. And so many of us have been sitting on our potential. We've been sitting on our mission. We've been sitting on our voice. And we are just one person away from offering liberty and hope, strength to another woman that we may never know. One of my students, Jessica Ritchie, is on here now. She heard me speak of podcasting and she said, that's the coach for me. And let me tell you, Jessica created her podcast. That woman is up and running. And I thank God every day. Yeah, I'm Christian. I thank God every day for people such as herself, for trusting me to help them build their podcast and actually get it out there. Because I'm just going to say one other thing about this thing of podcasting. You have to find the person that you resonate with. You have to find the person whose energy matches yours. You have to find somebody who's going to hold you accountable. I know that some people say, I can get your podcast up and running in 3 days. Yeah, you can, but will you understand the nuts and bolts of podcasting? Will it really reflect who you are? Will you feel comfortable with projecting and standing in your own right and taking that real estate that podcasting gives you? Are you going to be comfortable and confident with that, the way I am? You know, are you going to be all right with not comparing yourself to all the other podcasters that are out there? Are you going to be able to rise up and answer the questions and meet the needs of those women that you're going to encounter? That's the kind of podcaster I build up. That's the kind of a student that I attract. Those are the kind of messages that I have taken up on my shoulders to get out to the world, because we are at flood stage. I'd like to say the pandemic has opened up our eyes and opened up the needs of so many women. We have been displaced here in the States. Over 2 million women have left the workforce. I don't know how many will be able to go back. So it's time for us to empower each other and say, I am capable. With a mentor, I am capable. With strategy, I am capable of building my next. I can reinvent myself and step into my power, own it, and generate my own sense of energy with urgency, because we don't have time to kick the tires any longer. And I think I might, maybe I will. I think I will. Maybe I will. We have to do this right now. We've been thinking about podcasting. We have to build our podcast right now, today, because I had COVID. And let me tell you, it comes to kill. And when you get COVID, you're praying that you make it through. Many do not. So you come out of this thing with a sense of urgency, understanding I can't kick tires anymore. What I don't know, I have to hire somebody to teach me, and I have to do it right now. So I'm Margo Levette, the creator and host of the podcast, Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation, and the podcastacademyonline.com. And good morning, ladies. That's who I am. That's what I do.
Wow. This is so empowering. Who is feeling this? This morning I was like, I'm going to load myself again.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Miss Margo. Thank you. Thank you. Like we said from the beginning, let no one hear this. We will talk later.
Thank you, ladies.
Please, ladies, leave your website, your number, if anyone want to reach you, because we are here and helping each other, because people will love to reach you after. So where do you want them to message you or to reach you? And leave it on the chat, so we all can have this together. And like Mrs. Margo said, you do it. The time is now. That's why I'm like, I never give time to myself. I'm sick, I'm this, I gotta shower, get out and say, I'm going to the gym. And when I'm in the gym, punching the bags, boxing, it gives me joy and the strength, everything comes back and I can do anything. And I'm also the author of 3 books. The Heart of a Warrior. The Heart of a Warrior was based when I was passing through domestic abuse and anything. I've lost everything, but I was like, no, something needs to come out of this. Not even a dime out of in my pocket, but I survived, and I don't even know how I published that book, to tell you guys the truth. And the second one is The Race of Love. How we can love ourselves when no one, because People are out there, but do they love us the way we're supposed to love who we are? No. And those moments, I was one eye blind out of Bell's palsy. My face was aside. And I always do this and continue writing. And I say, I have to do this because I say I have to. And I published my second book called The Rays of Love out of those times. And the third one is Generational Survivor. 5 women who come out to speak about what they have faced. And it was a powerful book that we share our story, rape, molestation, and so many things. And like we say, we can use our voice, our pen. That's why we call this My Pen Became My Purpose. Don't let your pen become something that you say, oh, because of this pen, I cannot do this now. Tell the pen that because of you, I'm going to become a new person. That's how we rise and say, yes, I did it. Even no one believed in me. I came from a French country. Never ever knew that I'm going to be speaking English like this today. Yes. So a girl who came from somewhere, only thing I knew when I was coming is good morning. My name is Date. Date. Then when I came to this country, I say yes, where possibility become an opportunity or something. So I'm like, I'm gonna be this possibility to my family, to where I come from, to my village. I'm gonna be this woman that my village will praise one day and say, thank you, my daughter, for putting our name out there. And we all can do it. And thank you all, ladies, for believing in our pens to become a purpose and to gather here this morning to inspire another woman around the world who will listen or watch this video later. Thank you all, and back to you, Janine.
Thank you, Coach Sandra. Well, we have one more question for Coach Margo, because that was perfect. That was amazing to empower us and really reminding us that the time is now to be active. So Coach Margo, can you just remind us about from your beginning, what are some of the things that you can do from your pain that shift you to be so determined like that I had to do this now? There was some trigger situation or anything that come to you that will shift you to shift your purpose, your pain to become your purpose?
I was in a lot of pain, excuse me, a lot of pain when I left corporate. That's why I left. But I grew up in the Midwest under a dad that always worked. Mother and father, the work ethic is just off the chain. So I knew that I knew that I had to find my next. I just knew it. It was an innate knowing that this was not the end of me. This is just something I'm going through. So what my next was, I had to be on the lookout for it. So I think it was the pain of leaving corporate the way I did and having to get my health back, but the purpose was waiting for me. And when I had my antenna up with my work ethic, knowing that you're not dead and done. You're not about to die. This is not going to kill you. You're just going through. So stay on the lookout. Purpose is circulating. It's percolating, and you know what you loved. I love talking to the musicians. I love listening to the music. I love research. You know, I'm really a quasi journalist. So, and I did some writing for a local newspaper here. So I knew that get your feet back on the ground. Go, and I went to a therapist, go to the therapist, be honest, stand in your truth. You're going to come out of this. And I came out and found my purpose, and I came out of running, you know? So that's it pretty much.
Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, that was really something I wanted to, because to shift, to be able to give people that direction. It's very important, from your pain to your purpose. That's very empowering. Thank you so much, Coach Margo. Okay, next to our second guest, which is, Coach Tisha. We're going to give her the floor. She's definitely also going to empower us more about her journey and her pain.
Oh, and there is plenty to talk about, right? We don't have all the time in the world. And
Yes.
I imagine we can relate and resonate with things that all of us will say. It's in my journey. I want to thank you, Coach Janine and Coach Sandra, for having this platform, for the invitation. Thank you, Coach Janine, for inviting me here. And the law of curiosity and divine timing attracted me, and a direct invitation. So thank
Yes.
you. Always happy to try to add some value and some content and some blessings to someone else who is on their journey. So the journey that I want to take you on in a brief amount of time is yes, from pain to purpose, but we're going to stop in the middle with pleasure, popularity, and profit. Okay. And I'm trying to tell you how I've touched on all of these different areas in a brief amount of time. So my pain really started about 2014. And in that year, my sister Charisma and my brother Mickey both died suddenly in hospitals in 2 different parts of the country, 5 weeks apart. Unexpectedly, couldn't have, health-wise, they look like the strongest people in the world. And these are my mother's oldest children. So she's lost her firstborn son, she's lost her firstborn daughter, and I thought my mother was going to die just from heartbreak. And so that, coupled with seeing that my mom was a nurse and a caregiver herself to others, and that the caregiving was aging and killing my mom faster than if she were not caregiving. A lot of that just combined together to really help me start thinking, wow, life is short. Tomorrow is not promised. What can I do today? And Lord, am I living out the life that you planned for me? Because I certainly have a plan, but if it's not going to work, I don't want to do it. And you know how it is. You are strategic. We are strategic and logical many times about where we see ourselves in a year or 3 years or 5 years. And I certainly had a plan. But when like you put your everything into something and then it doesn't work out, everything is snatched from you and you have to restart. I was tired of restarting. Yes. I was tired. I was overworked. I think Margo, hit that on the head. I was stretched thin, having worked in a federal government agency. I retired at the age of 41 for a number of reasons. One was to become more of a full-time caregiver for my mother. 2 was because, I was earning like my money and then somebody else's money too, but not being compensated for the work that they were giving me the work of 3 people, and reasonably expecting me to do that was unreasonable. However, I was doing something that I loved, which is very important. So I had a career in the federal government where I started out in uniform law enforcement here in the States, protecting our borders. And then I worked abroad in the Netherlands, protecting the US border from the Netherlands, if you can kind of imagine that after 9/11. When I came out of uniform, it was because I needed some normalcy, some quality of life, some time with my family. And I came out of uniform and went into civil rights advocacy because I still wanted to enforce the law. Now, this was just a different type of law, and I didn't have to do it in uniform. I could wear dresses and heels and feel like a woman, and it was great. And I loved it. And I was great at it, and I am still great at it. However, being stretched thin so long weakened me here. It really weakened my mind. And I know that God didn't give me a spirit of being weak-minded. And I wanted to find my strength again. And a way to find that was for me to walk away from a 6-figure salary, a 21-year career, and literally took a leap of faith, trusted God to help me build the airplane on the way down before it crashed. And I leapt into, of all things, being a law enforcement professional, being a civil rights advocate, I leapt into business development. I seem to remember somewhere along the way that I went to school for business, and I hadn't lived out that. And my mother had owned 2 companies while I was growing up. I am the result of entrepreneurial training firsthand, and that was great. And all of this, a retirement at the age of 21, retiring to build a business of my own, to be a caregiver, to experience what it's like to not have a paycheck every 2 weeks, a large paycheck every 2 weeks, to zero, to me being the one responsible for making sure money came into my home every day, not just every 2 weeks. That was incredibly stressful. If I could just get a show of hands or a reaction of who's also experienced that high level of stress where I'm not willing to change my lifestyle, but I don't have those 6 figures anymore to contribute to my lifestyle. And you know how it is. You put the world on your shoulder, you wear like a backpack, and you march. I mean, Coach Sandra this is what she's saying. You march through it and you prevail. So in all of the pain, and of course there's more, we can't talk about it all today. That's why we'll connect one-on-one in our favorite platforms, right? But in all that pain, what came out of that was this concept, was don't limit your challenges, challenge your limits. Look that mountain in the eye and say, mountain, you're gonna move for me. My name is Tisha Hammond. I'm a child of the Most High God, and you can't be in my way. You can't be in my way today. So if I got to go around you, I'll go around you. If I got to go over you, I'm going to go over you. If I got to go this way, it'll get done. And that's where faith, stepped in, right? So my business was founded as a faith-based, profit-first entrepreneurship venture that teaches communities of color and women how to influence and control your own personal economy, so you're not depending on someone else's paycheck to do that. For me, that oftentimes means teaching women to transition from the comfort of a W-2 salary to the discomfort of, where's my money coming from? Well, how many streams of income do I have to replace to get that? Oh, but I get the freedom of waking up and having coffee with my husband. I get the freedom of waking up and being able to take my mom to her appointments and not having someone breathe down my back asking me to take leave or fill out a leave slip, or my job is being threatened because I got to care for my family. So those are the things that I was able to do. That's what the pain produced in me. I want to just stop at a point of pleasure where it became good. It just started feeling really good. It started feeling really good as I became really popular, as people started to nickname me things like the small business cheerleader. That people even changed the name of my company. I don't have a DBA, I have a company name, but nobody really knows it because the communities that I'm in have changed the company name to from launch to ascent, because that's the goal, for me to guide your business from its launch to its ascent. And to do that through creating this like network, this worldwide community. The community even has its own nickname. It's called the Pep Squad because I'm the small business cheerleader. So I began to get very popular in these communities, and that felt good, right? And then I began to see, I can generate more income above my expenses. I began to make a profit, and that felt good, right? But something was still missing. I was still asking the Lord, what kind of business do you want me to have? What do you want me to do? And that purpose wasn't yet evident for me. So I was enjoying the freedom of being an entrepreneur. I was enjoying my own schedule, getting business started at 9 in the morning and working till 9 or 5 or 11 if I wanted to. But the purpose wasn't there. But the day that the purpose became evident to me was when I completed a masterclass with Dr. Lisa Wickers called Shatter the Limits. And it was in that masterclass, which was based on Christian principles, that I realized I could be the most popular person in the world and be unhappy. I could bring in money all the day long for myself and my clients and not be fulfilled. If I'm not doing what I've been called to do and doing it the way that it's supposed to be done, I'm going to have to keep restarting. So the purpose became for the business to influence and ensure that our communities, particularly women, when they want the opportunity, when they want the information, when they are ready to take that leap or to take that first step, when they get past the fear of what if the first step is the wrong step? Okay. You can take another one. We can set the course in a different direction. We can course correct. I threw out the word pivot, y'all. I don't like the word anymore. What I like is, let's set a course for a new adventure. That's why I keep a world map back there. That's my vision board. I'm beyond the days of a vision board that has like mansions and cars and beach vacations. That's not going to fulfill me. What fulfills me is knowing that God gave me a message to share. It's about how do you influence and control your own economy, your own personal economy, and how far that message can reach. And there's one way to ensure that happens. And that's when we network with each other. That's when we realize that as women, we rise together. That's when we realize that my hands are empty so that I can grab your hand and pull you right up here with me. And you know what? Either you go first and pull me up, or I go first and I'll bring you with me. We got to keep reaching back. We lift as we climb. And that is what the purpose is all about. And women do it well. I could go on, but I'm so excited to hear from Carrie and whomever else may have comments. But thank you for giving me an opportunity to share that. I want you all to know that God gave me a message. I put it in a book. It's called Daily Devotional for Entrepreneurs, Your Season to Grow. It blends spirituality and business consulting, because I find that some of my clients, including myself, I was my own client at one time, were conflicted. How can I believe in God and want to make massive amounts of money? Well, I'll tell you how this is possible. It takes massive amounts of capital, human capital and green currency and other forms of currency to change things on a large scale. And that's what I came to do. My name is the Small Business Cheerleader, but I didn't come to play small. It takes capital to play big and to make major changes. And it takes worldwide connections. Yes. So I hope that we can all connect. I've added my website, Tisha Hammond, to the chat. From there, you can find all of my social media. I do have a talk show. You are welcome all to be guest stars on it. If you too want to help elevate the conversation around entrepreneurship, I'm willing to enjoy that experience with you. So thank you so much. God bless and be encouraged.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Coach Tisha. But one question we have for you, what are those some of the people who encourage you along the way? Like, because yesterday we share, Coach Sandra and many others, we share those women who really create the legacy for us, who came before us, but also who was there all along, that we can go we be able to vent. So can you also share some of the people that in your life that really participate and blessed you?
Yes, and thank you. I got to start at home. My mother is the strongest person I know. She is all of 4 feet, 11 inches, has had numerous health conditions, has suffered so many unimaginable things as a woman trying to raise children. And she keeps going. She did it through owning small businesses and people snatching all of the wealth out of that from under her feet. She did it by being vulnerable. And I feel like God has given me an opportunity to give her a chance to unwind and relax and not have to have the world on her shoulders anymore if she doesn't want it. But if she wants it, okay, she can handle it. So my mom, who watches my live streams every day, she's like one of the first to make comments. She's trying her best to manage through technology in 2021. And I recognize it and I appreciate it. My husband, who, when I walked away from 6 figures, he took everything right here. We were dividing expenses. He carried it all and my business until my business started doing this. And I am eternally grateful for a partner, a best friend, a confidant. We have 5 children and all of our children are now entrepreneurs. And when they say, I'm gonna cry, all right, I'm a crier, because I'm gonna try to hold back, but I'm a crier if we get one-on-one and you touch a soft point in me. But when my children open their businesses, or they ask me to be there with them in the moment that they sign their documentation for their LLCs, when my husband launched his business, when my mom published her book months after I published mine, and they thank me, that's all the world to me, right?
Yes.
Then I just want to thank a couple mentors. There are so many, 3 mentors, I'm sorry. Tanya Hill, who took me under her wing here in Metro Detroit and introduced me to people in the business community I would not have met. Got me into rooms I would not have gotten into. Introduced me to Dr. Lisa Wicker, who founded Career Mastered magazine, who brought me in to be the senior copy editor for a magazine for everyday women. We all have careers, no matter what we name them. Being responsible for your home full-time is a career. As much as being in the C-suite or going to your own office suite and managing your team. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, wrote the foreword to my book. And his writing mentorship has been a jewel in my crown. And I try to give those things back as often as I can every day, particularly to entrepreneurs around the world. And thank you for allowing me to share that. I appreciate that question, Coach.
Thank you so much, Coach Tisha. Those are very, very good nuggets that she just gave it to us. Again, we promise you guys that we're going to put the link of all our speakers, like their website, their social media. So please go and sow the seed, which is really committed to yourself. Be under the feet so they can be able to coach you. They can be able, whatever the needs that you have. That's why we're creating this conference, with Coach Sandra, so we can create this platform that you all can be able to meet all these, change makers because they're doing this every single day. They are committed to bring changes in their life. So thank you so much, Coach Tisha.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach Janine. Thank you, Coach Tasha, for speaking and saying you touch a part that I wanted to cry, but I won't cry. Because whatever you face, I face similar. When suddenly everything was taken, you see things that you dreamed and you put all your energy and say, this is us. But one day you wake up and only thing you're gonna hear is go find your own. And you don't have that strength anymore to start all over. And you kept saying, where do I go from here? And some nights I can see myself 1 a.m. I started going crazy. I can't sleep anymore. And I didn't know I was destroying myself in the middle of all that. My brother was so sick, the only best friend I had. And he asked for $140, which I didn't have that time because of what I was facing, and I couldn't tell anyone. And he passed away. 3 months later, my mom, because I was the one that helped the family. And imagine, within 6 months, I've lost 4 people, my 3 brothers and my mom. And I was like, who's next? And that time, every day is emergency room. I can hear the doctor always say, each time they are here, I kept saying, who's gonna watch my children for me? And that's the word that I always say. No matter what, I still think of my children. And I kept saying, how can I start this? And I didn't know I can start and do all by myself again. I was that strong woman who can just do it for everybody. All the time forget to do it to myself. Then one day I'm like, this needs to stop. Otherwise I will die. I don't want to die. That's how I change everything. So we all can become something, a new person, a new person. We can revive the dying soul. Yes, you can revive it. Just look at yourself. I used to hear how ugly I am. Being a mother of 5, my body, I was like, my breath was 6 a.m. You change everything to be 6 p.m. and now you are insulting me. And one day I just took a good shower and say, I'm beautiful. I wasn't this ugly when you met me. So why do you believe in those words? Just keep telling yourself you are beautiful. I cry and cry and cry, and that's it. I say you are a warrior from now. That's why everything that I do always have a warrior inside. So pick a word that will encourage you every single day, please. We can do this. You can do it. If you can, just reach out to one of us here on this platform, please. Some days I call Janine and I cry. I cry and Janine say, you are a warrior, stop. Yes, I'm here for you, but don't cry. And we console one another, and that's it. We start all over again. So we are here to support you. When you feel down, please, please, please just message one of us and we will be there. Love you guys. Oh, back to you, Janine.
Oh, thank you so much, Coach Sandra. Definitely. Thank you so much. Those are very, very good nuggets that we just had, because definitely you can tell that all these women, one thing they have in common is they did not give up on themselves. They are very committed to it for themselves, and they're committed to the process. So thank you so much, Coach Tisha, Coach Margo. You guys were very wonderful, and they're gonna come back again. They will definitely come back for so many conversations we're going to have in the future. Now I have the pleasure to introduce also Carrie. She's an amazing consultant who also have so many expertise that she will come and definitely share with us her journey as a leader and how she's been helping a lot of managers, a lot of company, how to facilitate, like the team building activity, and also so many stuff in the consulting industry. So thank you so much and welcome, Carrie.
Thank you. I think maybe I'll just ugly cry for the next 10 minutes. My heart's just pounding. Oh man, what an incredible group. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so inspired, but I'll try to give and not just take from this meeting because I've taken so much already. I have a daughter, she's 9, and she asked me one time, Mommy, she's a little precocious. What do you need to succeed in life? And first, I don't know. But second, I said, you have to be teachable and you have to not give up. Those are the 2 things. If there's anything I'm good at in life, it's those 2 things. I said, you might be the smartest, you might not, you might be the prettiest, you might not. Whatever else happens, if you're teachable and you don't give up, you will do what you're supposed to do. And God will open doors when they're supposed to be open and close them when they're supposed to be closed. And I feel like in my life, I've had a lot of false starts. And what I've come to believe in my coaching journey, my management journey is, our story and what we've come through is our unique selling proposition. And that's so hard because it's so vulnerable. On paper, if you were to look at especially my older stuff, on paper, I'm a management consultant and I have this degree and I've done this and I've worked for these companies and it's super pretty. And that's not the part why anyone I want to work with wants to hire me, anybody can do that. The part that I don't share all the time, April 1st, I'll be celebrating 17 years of sobriety. And so yeah, I've overcome a lot, but most of it's self-inflicted. So it's hard to share. I overcame all the problems I created for myself, right? But that was the big thing. I overcame losing a 6-figure job after my twins were born, when my husband and I had moved to a new area to start a gym that we sunk everything into so we could live off my salary, and then accidentally had 2 babies instead of 1 and lost my job. So I learned how to launch a job super fast that I didn't love, but I was terrified and I wanted to pay the bills and I wanted my husband's dream to come true. So I know about starting businesses out of fear instead of being connected with my purpose, and when I look back, I knew Janine was going to ask me, how does your pain inform your journey? I'm like, well, how do I talk about my pain without sounding totally whiny? But I see how it informs the decisions I made, growing up, I was really smart and really chubby and was excluded, whatever. I never was allowed in. So that was a big part of how I felt. My whole life was like, there's this secret club that I am not part of. And that hurts. It hurts not being invited in. So my response, the next stage was, F it. I'm not going to join, and I don't want to join your team, and I'm going to be the bad girl, and I'm going to drop it. I dropped out of school. I ran away from home. I did bad things. And so that rebellious stage is like, I'm going to destruct instead of joining. So there was not being allowed in, self-destructing rather than try. And then I kind of realized that I wasn't qualified to even have a part-time job. I needed to suck up my pride, go back home, suck it up, do what I had to do to launch myself. And then that was probably, then I was in a job. I learned how to do organizational behavior management from this professor. And so I started off consulting, and then I became an HR director in Southern California. I was there on a NAFTA visa because they imported me from Canada. So if you've ever worked in the States on a visa, I very much felt like I have to perform at this job or I'll get kicked out of the country. So in that job though, I felt like, okay, I'm back in the system, and I'm going to be even though I was the only woman on the management team, I'm going to be the smartest, I'm going to work the hardest, I'm going to beat the system at its own game, and I'm going to perform so well that nobody will ask me to leave. And that was probably the biggest, the most destructive thing I ever did. I hated that job. I hated HR. I started drinking just to like be able to get through the day. It was miserable because I wasn't living my purpose, because what I really wanted to do, I wanted to coach, I wanted to write, I wanted to help people. And everyone in my life said, well, that's stupid. That doesn't pay any bills. You know, stick with your job and do the thing that pays the bills. So I did until I couldn't anymore. So I had this breakdown, got sober, stayed with the jobs, but I was still miserable. So that point in time when I got laid off from the 6-figure job, and I remember looking at my husband, and he's also awesome and amazingly supportive. And I said, we're going to make this the best thing that ever happened. We have to. And I'm almost there, you know. So every day I'm grateful I'm not in a job, because now I don't know that I would like to think I would have got the courage to jump. But I don't know that I can say that, because that fear of that financial insecurity and just that you need to be able to pay the bills was so strong. I think I didn't want to, but I think God knew I needed to be pushed out of the nest, even though I didn't have any wings. So I started my HR consulting. And again, it wasn't my purpose. My purpose is not to teach people how to follow rules. It's not my purpose. So eventually, I mean, I became a coach in 2006. I didn't start my business until 2016 or 14. So there was a lot of making excuses. Well, I'm all on my own. I can't support myself. I don't know how to get clients. I don't know if anybody wants to hear what I have to say. I don't have anything to offer. Why would anyone listen to me? Who am I? I don't have anything. So all that disqualification. And then when I had to do it, I just did it because I had to do it. That's kind of been how things work for me. So in about 2018, I realized, so when I lost my job, I had the 2 little babies. They were 4 months old. My daughter was 2. And it just was this crushing thing going, I don't want a job anymore. I don't want anybody to be able, if anyone's going to ruin my life, it's going to be me, damn it. So if anyone's going to pull the rug out, I'm going to pull my own rug. I'm not going to put myself at the mercy of people who don't even like me and who I don't like. So, and I don't want to miss my babies. I mean, I was 40 when I had my daughter and 42 when I had the boys, and I didn't think I'd ever be able to have kids. And I'm like, God gave me these little people, and this is the only thing I am not replaceable at. So I am going to be there, but I also have a brain and a passion, and what I learned from my experience and as a management consultant and as a leadership consultant, I know I have to do this because I know there's people whose voices aren't being heard and nobody's listening to them. Like when I go in as a management consultant and, the CEOs hire me and I'm like, yeah. Then I find the people who really know because they really know what's going on and it's not the CEOs. And I look for the quiet people who are totally skeptical at me being there because they know this is another stupid, fat CEO who really doesn't care. And I find them and I talk to them. And that's when you find out what's really what really needs to happen here, because nobody's asking them. I'm like, I want to ask because nobody asked me. And I know how painful it is to feel like you have all this talent and all this ability and you're benched because you don't fit what they think is someone who knows. So I do that. But then I realized I got the bug and I'm like, like Tisha was saying, I love the freedom, the flexibility, the earning potential. Maybe not always there, but why would anybody not want to work for themselves? Like, why would they not? And this became my passion. I am going to help people start their own businesses. If anyone's ever paid them, if anyone has ever given you a paycheck, then you can give yourself a paycheck. You just got to figure out what you have to offer and how you can package it and how you can sell it. And that's where I realized is so many people are trying to make themselves look like everybody else and not successful. It's like, because you're not like everybody else. You're not I always say I'm not for everybody, but there are people who I am for, and those are the people I need to be finding. I don't need to be talking to the people who leave me out anyway. It's like, I don't need to impress them. I don't need to win over my detractors anymore, because there are people who I'm here to help and who can help me. And when I made that shift, it's like, I don't care anymore if people don't like me. As long as, if they don't like me because I did something bad, I care. But if they don't like me because I'm saying something they don't like, then it's kind of just good we know that. So, I started helping people launch businesses, and this was a big mistake I made. And this wasn't that long ago. I wish I was wiser, but it was part of it. We moved from Seattle to Idaho because it was, better cost of living, closer to my family in Canada. And my course wasn't selling. And I just, I underestimated how hard it was to uproot and move, and everything was languishing. And I did something I wish I wouldn't have done. I took somebody else's advice and made a new business on helping people find a job. And I shouldn't have done it because I don't think people should have jobs. So it was like this issue. I was like, so I would have these clients and they'd want jobs, and I'd be trying to talk them into, no, are you sure? Maybe you should start your own business, And so half of my clients, and I realized, there are people who a job is the right fit. And sometimes it's the right fit for now. And, I can't say what's right for everybody. So I had to kind of say, as a coach, what is my purpose? My purpose is helping people really find out what their purpose is and help them do it. If someone is called to be a leader in a corporation, I can help them be a manager who listens to the people who really know what's going on. And that's, I guess, my biggest message to them. I can help them listen. I can help them with servant leadership, bringing my Christian principles into because of how I started off as an angry atheist. Those are the people who I tend to attract in my mission now, is the people who don't want to hear it because I was there. And so I sneak Christian principles into their life and it works for them. And then So that's kind of my mission. And my purpose is really, I look at it as freedom. And really, I love what you said so much. It's like the money and the where you work is kind of a byproduct, but the real freedom is not living in fear for me of if they knew how I really was, if they knew what was all this, like I live now really authentically. I'm the same person everywhere, for good or for bad. I could probably polish it up a little bit sometime. But I'm the same person. I'm teaching my kids. My biggest prayer for my kids is they do become entrepreneurs, because I want them to, use their gifts and talents to help people, not to hide their lights to make somebody else's dream come true that's not helping the world. So that's what I had to say today, Janine. So.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, Coach Carey, that's amazing. Now, can you also just like the other speakers, you can share also some of the mentors, people who that you really they inspire you, they push you, even from far, or on the person of people who always been there for you. Can you share some of the mentor or some of the people who are always there for you?
You know, of course, my mom, she doesn't share my faith, but when I was going through some of the worst things in my life, she would say to me, like, I wouldn't want to go to school the next day because people are being mean. And she would say, nothing is ever as bad as it seems. And now I tell my daughter that, you know, like she's like that person who's in my corner. Sometimes it makes me mad because it doesn't matter what I say. She's like, yeah, you're awesome. Go be the president of Coca-Cola. And I'm like, you don't get it, Mom. But she's like in my corner no matter what. And you know, when I write books too, and when my book Grace Group got published by someone who wasn't me, she read it, and you know, she said it really makes me think maybe there is something to all this God business. So, you know, it was huge. You know, in sobriety, there have been women who love, you know, like they said, they love me until I could love myself, and they shared God with me, because without that, you know, in everything I say, like faith and fear can't exist at the same time. So I have to believe. It was kind of funny when I was on maternity leave with the boys. I was listening to a sermon series called Getting Through Hard Times by Believing the Promises of God. And at this time I thought, oh, we're slowly building our gym. Life is so great. We're getting a nanny to come help us. And I've got this great job. I sure hope I run into someone I can share this great wisdom with. Then like 2 months later, bam, I'm getting through a hard time by believing the promises of God. So the biggest people for me were the people who introduced me to Jesus, because I didn't want anything to do with it. There were people all through my life who were speaking truth to me, and I was running as far as I could from them. When I look back at my life, it's like God's been courting me since I was born, and I thank goodness he's God and has more patience than I do. because you know, the people who helped me see how stupid I was saved my life and continue to.
Thank you so much, Coach Carey. We really, really appreciate you're sharing your journey. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And then now we're gonna go back to Coach Sandra. She can be able to give us our few last words. And again, merci beaucoup de se connecter à nous. Ceux qui sont sur Facebook, YouTube. Aujourd'hui, nous avons eu le plaisir d'écouter encore le parcours de Coach Margo, Coach Tisha and Coach Carey. So merci beaucoup en tout cas. Et nous allons continuer cet après-midi, mais nous allons encore revenir encore cet après-midi. Mais Coach Sandra.
Thank you, Mrs. Carey. Wow, I'm like a yes. I'm so happy to, Janine, a big thanks. Ladies, please, sisters, join me to say big thanks to Janine. I don't even know how to say thank you to this lady here, because I feel like last month I was moving, packing, and she's like, I said, can we report this? I said, women map, another map, Mother's Day is gonna be made. She said, Mother's Day is different than women map, so we're gonna do this. And she said, instead of the 8, can we do the 16? I said, Janine, I want this to be 8. Now you say 16. Let's just come. She said, we have come so far. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna put this, just give me all the list of the people that you want, and we're gonna put them out there. And we always online doing things. And Janine, please join me and just say a big thanks to this lady for me. I don't even know how. And Mrs. Adama is here also. Thank you all. Thank you. They are sisters from another mother, and I didn't grow up with sisters. I have a lot that I never had a sister in my life. I never had a mother in my life to guide me and tell me, okay, do this, do that. So when I met another woman, I was like, I embraced them with love, and always be faithful to them. When I'm a friend with you, I will not look elsewhere until something happened, but nothing ever happened anyway, because I'm not that type of a person until you say, one thing I hate is lie and betrayal. When you lie to me and betray me, you will never see me again. So thank you, ladies. Thank you. And I just don't want to cry today. Back to you, Janine, please.
Okay, so we had so many nuggets this morning for all these wonderful women who are really, really change makers. Thank you so much, Coach Margo, for all the tools that you're giving us to keep going. And we also definitely heard from Coach Tisha about really keep going and her journey about how really to start your own. And when she had all of the things that she can really enjoy and dream of, but she was not happy. So she also gave us a lot of tools this morning about how you can be able to reinvent yourself. You can be able to keep going and go after what you all love. And Coach Carrie, I definitely learned so much about you again this morning about how that's what she wanted to make sure that she's really doing what she feels like God has put inside of her to do. And she overcomes so much. And again, today she's going into, and she kind of reminds me of my own journey, especially when you are in a different environment in a workplace. I usually don't stay with the CEO, even though I'm there to help them to do consulting work, but I usually talk with the people who are on the ground, and she does the same thing, the strategy. So I really feel like, and that was one of the conversations, and many of the conversations we talked, me and Coach Carey, about how to support the managers. So we have some upcoming training that we're going to be doing together. So I'm so excited about that. But Coach Kerry, thank you. And Coach Sandra, yeah, she's thanking me, but she's always been there for me, this woman. And one of the things that she also, her mindset is just, she's unstoppable. That's why since I've known her, I'm always, around her. And I've seen her, she published 3 books. And I was like, wow. It's like she has to say, Janine, it's your turn. Next, it's going to be, she was pushing me. At the same time, we push each other. So I really, really admire you as well. And thank you all the ladies who are connecting tonight. I mean, this afternoon, also we're gonna be with amazing women, but make sure that you come back at 3 p.m. Eastern time. 3 p.m. Eastern time and 2 p.m. Central time. So to be again empowered, like we're continuing all this week about how we're gonna do, and make sure that we have one more speaker that who's gonna be speaking with us. But before that, I'm gonna give to Coach Sandra. Merci beaucoup de se connecter à nous. Restez connectés. On a encore une autre personne qui va nous parler, mais cet après-midi, nous revenons encore avec d'autres speakers ce soir.
Ok, merci. Assez merci. C'est toi qui t'occupes du français. Donc, thank you, ladies. And I just want to add this. I put our website on the chat. It's www.speakerforachange.co. Please check it out. And what we do is we empower women, girls. We have a basketball club in Togo, which is under Speaker for a Change, and we mentor girls. We provide hygienic products to them and also to women. We give food, clothes, everything that can help a woman. And also to the women, our mothers in the markets, we celebrate them every year by giving them, even it's an envelope of 200, which is equivalency of $100,000 CFA. We do that. I do that every year out of my own pockets. Food, we ship food. We have a load of food here, which is going to be leaving this 19. And also, I will be traveling, hopefully with Mrs. Adama and Janine, to Nigeria in the order of a king who invited me over to come and celebrate women with them. So we're going to be traveling and helping women. And we plan to just pass the envelope to those women as well to help them with their merchandise, because in Africa, it's not like here when you can go to the bank and loan money. And those women are the ones taking over the house, helping their children to school, but no money is coming in. And also with this COVID time, it's very difficult. That's why every month I have to make sure that food live here, clothes, soap, you can name it. I have customers who always send me hygienic stuff, soap, lotion, and things to ship to them, which I always do. And every back to school, I travel back to Africa and we give school supplies, and we just built a school to one of the village. And I put it out there that every year I'm gonna be building a school in each village. And the school that we built, nothing came from outside. Being a single mom myself, growing up, what changed me was at the age of 15, things happened. I ended up being pregnant, rejected, and no one was there to help me. And I decided, seeing the baby and myself being a young girl, what did I know? I'm like, I deserve better, but I have to prepare a future for my daughter as well. So I said, I have to stop believing that I'm ready to get married. I'm not ready for marriage. Even though they were pushing me to go to my rapist, I said, I won't. Every day I was like, I want. I became isolated, always go inside a tree, sit down and listening to the bird. And one day I was like, I have to go back to school, but I don't know how. And I went to my dad, may his soul rest in peace. He gave me $10 that time. And he said, what do you need? I said, all I needed is a book and pen. That's it. And he gave it to me, but he said, can you be able to do this? I said, I don't know. Who watched the baby? I said, I have no idea at age of 15. And I went to the school and I told the headmaster, I said, I want to come back. They were looking at me like, she's coming, she's being crazy. That time I was like, yes, I have to. Some days I go to school empty, no food. And the baby breast milk all over my bed. I was happy. I don't care. I created like a comedy. I just want everybody to see that it's okay. And I made it. Since then, I was like, I will help any girl who will need help to go to school, because that's how women didn't supported me. And I know how it feels to be left out. So how can we come together? Please, you guys are all here today. Pass this message. Anyone who want to join the Speaker for a Change, I found the Speaker for a Change, but today it's become all of us. Please, let's put our voice together, empower these women, empower these girls, help them. Today, people are calling me all over. I'm gonna be in Ghana. I just ship stuff to Burkina Faso, one of the village. They don't have school. They don't even have water. And we made it. And we're gonna continue doing it. So let's come together and help more people, more women, not only Africa, but everywhere that they will need a speaker for a change. We will be there. Thank you, ladies. Back to you, Janine. You muted, Janine.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Definitely, I've worked with Sandra, Coach Sandra, for many, many years, and she's really committed to empower women with action. And she's been on the front, definitely leading the girls and leading different activity that it could be with food, with women, especially with the younger mentorship. So she has so many things that she's been doing on the front, even with the low budget. So we are encouraging you really to be part of us, getting involved. She have left the link on the message box. Please go there on our website there and click and you will see how you can get involved. And even many people who are not here today, share with them, because this is what it's about, empowerment. And we're doing that with our action and also with the mentorship. So you can help us to continue to mentor all those leaders, those young girls, because those are the leaders of tomorrow. And thank you so much for being here. And we will see you all this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern time and 2 p.m. Central time. Again, we're going to have some amazing speaker this afternoon. So please join us. And for today, we're going to stop here, give you a little break. So just again, for any question that you have, I know there were some people in the beginning, they were having difficulties to connect, but hopefully they did join us. But if not, continue to invite others, because we want everybody to get the opportunity to get empowered. So invite many, many people who can join us today. Merci beaucoup d'avoir connecté cet après-midi aussi. Je sais que c'est déjà la nuit là-bas en Afrique. Merci beaucoup toutes les femmes et les hommes aussi qui ont participé, qui sont venus nous encourager, en tout cas dans cette conférence des femmes. Merci à Coach Sandra et à toutes les femmes qui sont là. En tout cas, ils ont eu à partager avec nous leur parcours, comment être des leaders, et on va continuer encore cet après-midi. Merci.
Merci.
See you,
Thank
everybody.
you, ladies. Love you guys.
Love you, Coach Sandra.
All right. Oh, ma soeur, merci beaucoup. Je vais arrêter le recording.